Shalom. So today we're going to look at Exodus chapter 12 verse 16 to get the understanding of what an holy convocation is. Right? So the confusion is that some of us do not know if a holy convocation is a Sabbath or if a Sabbath is a holy convocation. So we need to know, is there a difference? Can they fall on random days or appointed days of the Most High? And what can be done on those days? Because the next thing is that the Most High instructed us on how to understand His word, which is, matter of fact, let me just go there. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 28 and verse 10. Matter of fact, let's start at verse 9. It says, "Whom shall He teach knowledge? And whom shall He make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk, and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little." So he gave us clear instructions that we should read the Bible precept upon precept. Now, we do what we want. So what we do is we go Strongs upon Strongs. But there's nowhere in the Bible that commanded us to use Strongs to get understanding of what the Most High meant when He said what He said and when He did what He did. The next thing is, what do we do when we use the Strongs? We remove the definition that the Most High gave us, because the Most High defined things through function. And this is why Hebrew language is a verbal language. Everything is functional or operational. Meaning, if He says this, guess what? You can look for a covenant to confirm what He said here. Right? So we need to get this understanding that the Strongs will not bring us closer to His understanding. It is when we start to go by function, covenants made by Him, then we get this understanding. All right? So we're going to see if there's a difference between holy convocation and holy Sabbaths. All right? So let's start here. The book of Exodus, chapter 12 and verse 16. It says, "And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation, and in the seventh day there shall be an holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you." So what we're seeing here, matter of fact, let's get some more. We need to see what this is talking about, right? So we're going to jump up to verse 6, and it says, "And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening." Now let's get a little bit more on it. We're going to go to the book of Leviticus 23, so we can know exactly what we're dealing with. "In the 14th day of the first month at evening is the Lord's Passover." So let's write this here. So we're seeing month 1, and we're dealing with Passover and the days of unleavened bread. All right. So it says, "On the 15th day of the same month," meaning the first month, "is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. 7 days. In the first day ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work." So what we're seeing here is that The 14th day is the Passover. So from the 15th day would be the days of unleavened bread, right? So it says, in the first day ye shall have an holy convocation, ye shall do no servile work therein. So the first day of the 7 days feast, this is the first day, right? It says, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days. Let's get the 7 days here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now it says, in the first day ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days. In the 7th day is an holy convocation. Now, what is the 7 days, the 7th day talking about? It's not talking about this. It's talking about the 7th day of the 7 days of unleavened bread. So where's the 7th day? Here. On the 21st of the month, which is the 6th day of the week. Now it says, have an holy convocation, not an holy Sabbath. So the question is, holy convocation, is it the same as a Sabbath? Can you have a holy convocation that is not a holy Sabbath? For example, your Feast of Weeks. When you have your Feast of Weeks, whatever date it falls on. Matter of fact, let's get the scripture. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 21. It says, and ye shall proclaim on the self same day, that it may be an holy convocation unto you, ye shall do no servile work therein. It shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations. So, whatever date your Feast of Weeks, your first fruits fall on, is that always on the 7th day of the week for you? No, if your answer is yes, then that's that. If your answer is no, that your Feast of First Fruits can fall on any day of the week, then it is telling you there's a difference between a holy convocation and the holy Sabbath of the Most High. So here we can see that all holy convocations are not Sabbaths. All holy convocations are not Sabbath. So this is not a Sabbath. It is a what? What is a holy convocation? It is a calling. You get together, and what it says we should do on this day, eat only. It did not say it's a Sabbath. It said don't work. What you're going to do is you're going to eat. And what you do with a holy convocation, you proclaim. You do things orally. How did Adam pass on the wisdom to his sons? How did Noah pass on the wisdom that came from Adam to his descendants? We did not have written texts at this time, like in the days of Moses. Everything was done orally, so everything was recited or rehearsed. So when your descendants, when your children would see you sacrificing the lamb and all of that, and then they say, what is that for? You can tell them that, hey, this was the day the Most High took us out of Egypt, and this was for this reason. So we know that the leaven represented what? The sins. And the lamb, we know what it represents. The sacrifice, we know what it is for. So we pass on that knowledge to our children. So a holy convocation is about reciting and rehearsing, but it doesn't make it a Sabbath, because Sabbath carries different attributes which we're going to look into, right? So holy convocation is about a reciting, a rehearsal, a calling, an appointed time, and so forth, but it does not say it is a Sabbath. You can have a holy convocation on whichever day the Most High says, okay, gather here and do this. Now, what we're going to see is that the Holy Sabbath is defined differently from the Holy Convocation.